CS 1.6, a game that became a legend in the shooter world and left a huge impact on the entire esports industry. In the early 2000s, CS 1.6 was a social phenomenon. It was one of the first games to enter esports at a professional level. This game marked the beginning for millions of players. It was known in every computer club, played all night long, and its maps became truly iconic. One of them is CS Assault, which I used to call Assault as a kid. Comment if you called it that too. Every corner of this map was known better than their own backyard by many guys. But times change, and today Assault and CS look different. And then a thought came to me, how would the Assault map from the 2000s look in 2024? First, I started creating a layout. After spending some time searching, I found a 3D model of Assault. This significantly simplified the process of recreating the map. When the layout was ready, I started painting and prepared textures for concrete, tiles and metal in advance. I began filling the scene with objects from the warehouse. Placed containers and boxes just like on the original map, then added wooden pallets and barrels to make the warehouse look more realistic. The only change I decided to make was the bridge. I made it iron because I think it fits the warehouse atmosphere better than concrete. Then I added some dirt and stains, as well as laid out a pipeline system, and of course, installed a ventilation shaft. And before I continue working outside the warehouse, I need to decide on the lighting, and despite the original having night lighting, I decided to give it a cloudy, rainy weather. In my opinion, an industrial landscape with a grey sky and puddles creates a unique, slightly oppressive atmosphere. I added an HDRI map of a cloudy sky, softened the shadows, and started adding puddles. Next, I worked on the warehouse's exterior. I recreated the address sign just like on the original map. And despite the mistake there, I left everything as it is. For authenticity, I added some dirt to the sign, then placed light sources and installed ladders, also added sectional gates and a back door. Then I worked on the other buildings, making their main part out of red brick, typical for such structures. Added sidewalks and curbs. To add variety for other buildings, I used materials from the Quicksell free resource modular set. I styled the central building in the same way. Also, I added a ventilation system. Afterwards, I placed a SWAT van and added an antenna to it, just like in the original Assault. Next, I opened Blender and started creating a car bridge. Then added puddles and concrete barriers to it. Also added graffiti and stains. Then I worked on small details, added pebbles and trash, a lot of trash, and you might say my computer will never run such a CS. To keep FPS high, I use Unreal's Nanite system. This is a virtualized geometry technology that allows displaying millions of polygons with minimal system load. This technology optimizes the number of polygons, maintaining detail only where needed, allowing complex models without performance loss. Next, I decided to display the surveillance camera footage on the control panels on the second floor, just like in the original Assault. And to simplify the process, I started setting up scene capture for real-time image transmission. Instead, I took screenshots, processed them in Photoshop, and created the material to project onto the screens. And here's the result. After that, I added industrial buildings and smokestacks in the background to make the overall picture seem more realistic. Traditionally, my brother usually remakes the game's soundtrack for the remaster I'm working on. We all remember this music from the main menu. But here's an interesting fact. That music was never there. Mandela effect, you might say. No way. This soundtrack was actually from the extended version of Condition Zero and only played on pirated versions of CS 1.6. But even despite this, the memories remain, and we still remade the soundtrack to capture the atmosphere. And before I show you the result, make sure to like this video, leave a comment for promotion, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see each other very soon. Bye.